what I'm going to do at the very end of the season is I'm going to do a kind of a blooper reel of sorts. I'm already know of something I can do for right now, kind of like how my brother came in the room while I was recording the podcast episode, even though I told him not to come in. You know, at least on my end, made a few fashion mistakes, especially with some of those, that sponge hair that was just way over the top back in high school. I realized in retrospect, my mother was right. But I've learned from my ways and I've repented and become a better person because of it. But he just closed the door now. But yeah.
That's funny, man.
But yeah, he just looked down like this, like closed the door.
When I look at you and your brother's personality, I always think about when you were about 1 year of age and we were in the food court and we went to McDonald's. How many times are you gonna bring up this story? Because I love this story because you were at the double stroller and your brother had gotten out to sit at the table. You know how he is. He's just all about his business. So he had opened up his Happy Meal and he had the cookie and the car and the hamburger, french fries, and you had zero teeth. Zero teeth.
You know, I mean, people know me and they know the car reviews and they want to talk about the car. They want to talk about Evil Twin. They want to talk about... So, you know, you end up talking to people. I mean, that's where I get recognized the most, is at Costco. I'm always talking to people at Costco. So either that or they think I'm Coach Pete Carroll, you know, which is a thing in Seattle.
Yeah, because, you know, the Seahawks, yeah.
Yes.
I was watching one of the Rays playoff games. I don't remember who they were playing, but this was last year. And so the Rays, you know, they had great defense. They basically every ball that was hit just seemed as if it was being caught by one of the fielders. So I was just like, all right, like I'll put something, I'll just like make a stupid joke. And I look up what percent of Earth is covered by water. I wanted to be 100% sure that I was here, and I got like 71%. So I'm like, all right, cool.
And you could not chew anything. So all I was giving you was, you know, one fry at a time. And that was not good enough. And you had the biggest tantrum. So bad that about 3 other families around us, everybody wanted to give you the cookie that you were crying for, that your brother refused to give you. Of course, he would eat the cookie and go close to your face and just keep eating the cookie. He was only 3 years old.
So I tweet, you know, 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by water. The rest is covered by the Rays defense. Like, super dumb joke. Like, didn't need to be tweeted. Like, you know, I was getting roasted. Like, Devan, why'd you tweet this? Like, who cares? Like, you know, you're trying too hard to be funny. Like, I wouldn't really say that's one of my strong suits.
I will say this: back in the day when I did work alone, I think my 2 go-tos were Issey Miyake and then the go-to Sean Paul. That was definitely like my 2 go-tos, man. So
not you.
Really nah, I couldn't do anything with the juke, man. But hey, there was this polo though they had, man. It was hard. It was back in the day too, but nah, Gary, I couldn't touch the juke, man, or was
And he had this, you know, this very serious look on his face. He wasn't laughing, he wasn't smiling. He just wanted you to know that you couldn't. And the entire food court just lit up because you were just, you know, he was making you more angry by the second. He was different. But ultimately, a little bitty girl, she gave up her cookie for you. She felt so sad for you. She couldn't have been more than 2 years of age, but she's like, this poor child. He's not going to stop crying. Yeah. He's screaming.
I was on a shoot years ago with a reporter, and I was doing the car reviews, and these teen girls came running up to me and they're like, "Can we get our picture taken with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What?" you're not interested in cars. And then, so they did the selfie thing and they were walking away and they went, oh my God, it's going to be so cool. Everybody, they're going to see that we meet Pete Carroll. And my reporter friend just lost it laughing because it was like, of course. Yeah, they don't care about cars. They think I'm Pete Carroll.
But then I was, as I said, I like to have the game on in the background, do my homework. This was in the fall quarter, so I was doing homework and had the game on the background, and I look over to the TV, and the tweet's on TV during the playoff game. Okay, and I'm just thinking to myself, oh my God, and they're like, oh, the announcers were literally like, oh, good one, Devan, like whatever, and I'm like, this is just not happening. The tweet just blows up after that. Everyone is like roasting me. They're like, some boomer at TBS just thought that was funny. This wasn't actually funny. Like,
just listening to myself and listening to episodes, just sometimes it's just like, okay, Garrett, you really just need to shut up. You've been talking for 2 straight minutes. Just everyone gets the point. You don't need to elaborate on something for 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes. It's just not necessary.
It's so easy.
It really is.
What's the other one the old folks used to wear? Man.
Frankincense and myrrh? I don't know.
What?
I never heard of that one. I never heard of that one.
That went biblical on this song. Why you got to pull out the oils? Man, you crazy, man. No, not frankincense.
That must be a real low, and I never heard of that one.
Man, hey, let's just say it's at least 2,000 years old. So,
okay.
That was a good one, man. I was not ready for that.
So something that they try to do in your first year of law school is, they try to find ways to stop you from studying constantly. So they'll bring like a food truck to the school, or they'll bring like puppies to the school to play with or whatever. So it was that sort of a thing. I think it was like they had a froyo truck or something like that. And so I was standing in line to go get a snack or whatever, and there were 2 students in front of me talking about how they had heard about this 16-year-old who was in their class and how they just couldn't believe it, and they thought it was crazy.
Oh, do you ever get tired of hearing yourself like in a recording though, like your own voice? Does it ever get to you?
Yes, that's often something that is just kind of endemic of doing this. It's even just related to the journalism profession as well, especially for TV and radio, just because I remember when I was in high school, this is a common theme that my journalism professor taught me, and it's very true, is that when you watch yourself do stories or you listen to yourself talk, you're going to think you sound annoying. You're going to think you kind of sound just like, oh, why do you sound so stupid? That's just endemic of this process.
And so then I've only done this once, but I started talking to them about how I had heard about him too, and how I thought it was crazy too. And I could only do it for about like a minute. And then I was like, yeah, that's actually me. And it was just hilarious. It was, they thought it was hilarious. And I was just like surprised that they couldn't tell just by the sight of me. But I guess maybe at that point, I looked a bit older, and so they didn't realize. But I just thought that was hilarious.
Deep, please feel free to hop in on this. Like, for all my young guys in the world who's trying to get out there into that cologne type deal, subtlety says a lot more than a lot more of cologne. Like, the more subtle you are, like, you'll get it, man. Like, it'll work. If you just do one spray in the right spot, I kid you not, man. Wherever you pass it, oh, what you wearing?
That's true.
I mean, it's over with. I mean, like, you're killing so many. We're going to put you on the game right now for all the people listening. So, like, when you do the cologne game the right way, you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Like, the young ladies will know, okay, that smells really good. I need to know what that is. So what they're going to do is what? They're going to ask you. So at that point, the icebreaker, which is the second stone, is already done. And then there you go. It's up to you at that point, not to mess up.
That's true. That's
Very
true.
true.